Bridget Bartlett here. Today, I am actually going to finish up our series on how to create a support ticketing system using nothing but HighLevel. Now, before I go too deep into any of this, you can go to myvisionagency.com. You can join our program. You can either join as a client and use our brand of HighLevel. We'll give you an account inside of our agency, or you can create your own HighLevel account. You can join our program as an agency. Okay, now previously I did call this an affiliate, but I think it makes more sense to call you guys agencies. So it is previously affiliates. It is now, we're just calling you agencies. Okay. So you'll see the support ticket. We are actually using the pipeline. This is kind of a workaround because it's not really designed to do this, but it works so great. Okay. So we're using the opportunity pipeline and we're creating an opportunity here with the different stages. Now, up to this point, we've created the support tickets, but we need to find an easy way to close that ticket out and and remove the data from this ticket, but we still want to actually keep it in case we needed it in the future. Now, I did come up with on Friday, I came up with a way to add tags and all of that. But as I was talking to my smart members in our group coaching session on Friday, we really wanted to have a way to move this card to the closed ticket stage, and we wanted to be able to close that out. So I'm going to show you how to do that today because, as promised, I would go ahead and add that to the snapshot. So, just to follow along here, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Okay, so you can see if we go to sites and we go to forms that we have created the form that we are going to add to our website. We can even share the link to the form. If we click integrate, we can embed this into another website. I also, in that snapshot, I did create like a standalone page, which if I was going to use this as a standalone page, I would just connect a subdomain of for example, like support.myvisionagency.com, which is actually my real support link. I would just connect that subdomain there. Okay, we don't want to use different domains, or you could just add this page to an existing page that you have. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do like a test here. So let's do Jane Doe and let's do an email address. And like I always say, if you're testing emails, I like to use a Gmail and then use a real email address, but put like a plus sign and then something to differentiate that email address. Then we're going to say this is issue number 1 because remember, I'm Jane Doe. I have an issue for support that I need to submit a ticket for. So I'm going to add my email address here. I'm going to describe the issue, and then I'm going to add a link to a video showing like maybe Loom or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and click there to submit that support ticket. And then you'll see if I go into the opportunities pipeline that I will have, if I refresh, I will have a card there and I will have my, the support ticket and all of that is generated there in the opportunity pipeline. So let's refresh there. Okay. So now we have our ticket. And if I click here on the card, you can see when I click on support that we have that ticket number, we have the URL, and then we have a description of the issue right there on the card. Okay. Now, if we go into the profile here, you'll see, let's click on the name. You'll see when we go down to our folder that is support, that we have support 1, and then we have this is my issue. And then, of course, we have the ticket number. Okay. Now, what happens when they submit another ticket? Let's go ahead and let's refresh this here. And now we're Jane Doe, and Jane Doe has an open ticket right now, but she has another issue. So she's going to submit another ticket using the same email address, of course, because that's the account email. But this time we're going to use a different issue and a different link here. Okay. Now we're going to submit the support request. And if we go back here and we refresh, we will see inside of the profile, we will see the support tickets. They're generated, but we'll also be able to go to the opportunity pipeline where there'll be a card and we'll see that data there. So you can see now support ticket number 2, which is different from support ticket number 1. And then we have the issue and the link. So if we go to the opportunities pipeline, You'll see now we have 2 support tickets, ticket 1 and ticket 2, okay? Now here's the magic, all right? Now, if I'm working with Jane Doe and let's say that, I started working on it, and this is really good for communication, for your team and all of that. I can just move Jane Doe's ticket here, and then that lets me know, like, okay, we are actually working on a solution. Now, let's say that I have contacted Jane Doe because I had a question about their ticket and I'm waiting for the customer to respond. Okay. Now I don't have any automations on these 2 stages, and that's fine. But let's say that I'm done now. I've talked to Jane Doe, we've resolved all the issues. And now what I want to do is I want to close this ticket out. Now, before I can move it over there, let me explain to you, just in case you missed the previous training, if we go into support, let me explain to you why this is important. So they're filling out the form. Okay. The form is the support form. Then we're going to add an if else conditional step. Okay. So basically, we're asking a question. And the question that we're asking is, do they have an open ticket? If the answer is yes, the support ticket number 1 field is going to be greater than 0. Okay. So you can see why to close that out, we need to make sure that when that ticket's closed, that we're actually moving support ticket number 1, that data that we're making that 0 instead of the ticket number that was already there. Okay. So that's why it's important in our closing step that we remove that data. Okay. But we need a way to differentiate ticket 1 and ticket 2. And that's why originally I had put tags. But because my visionaries are so, so smart, we came up with a better way here. Okay. So let me just, in case you missed it, let me just kind of walk through this so that you understand when we're closing it out, what it actually looks like here. Okay. So we're asking the step is support ticket number 1 greater than 0. Okay. If it is, then we are going to add the data for support ticket number 2. We're going to generate that ticket number by adding 1 here, and then we're going to update that custom value and the new value for the support ticket number 2. We're also going to update the custom fields with the data that was brought in from the form. And again, if you missed any of this training, you can go to my YouTube channel, search Bridget Bartlett, check out the playlist, and you'll see that there. Also in the description of this video, wherever you're watching, should be the link to the playlist. We're also going to update the opportunity pipeline. And you can see here, this is the part that we're going to use when we close the ticket out to differentiate, because originally the issue was when you move that card to close, there was no way to tell if it was ticket 1 or ticket 2. Okay. So we need to add ticket 1 or ticket 2 in the description so that it recognizes it in the card, and you'll understand that here in just a second. Okay. So we have ticket 2 and then the pound sign, and then we have ticket number 1 and the pound sign. And of course, this is dynamic data that is filled in when we generate that support ticket. Okay. So again, if you're totally lost, go back and check that out. That training. Then, of course, we're going to send a email to our customer. We're going to say, hey, we've received the ticket. And then, of course, we're going to notify the admin, and we're going to forward all of this data via email to a member of our team, and they will see all of the info. And that is, of course, on top of the opportunity pipeline that will have all the data as well. Okay. Now, if it is, if the answer here to our question, do they have an open ticket? And ticket number 1 is greater than 0. If the answer is no, remember to answer yes, that means we're going to create ticket number 2. If the answer is no, then now we have ticket number 1. Okay, so we're pulling in that data. We are adding 1. We're updating the custom value, giving us support ticket number 1. We're updating the custom fields there. We're also adding to the opportunity pipeline, which we're using as our support ticket dashboard. And you can see here is the opportunity name, and this one says ticket 1. That's how we're differentiating. Remember, this one says ticket 2. This one says ticket 1. Okay. And then, of course, we're sending a confirmation email to the person who submitted the ticket, and we're notifying the team, same as we did here. All right. Now, here is the magical part. All right. So we're closing the tickets out. What do we want to happen when we're closing the tickets out? Okay. We want to move that card to the stage in that pipeline that is ticket closed. Okay. And when we do that, we're going to go to another if else step here where we're asking a question. So, which ticket needs to be closed? All right, because that was the issue that we had when we're moving the card to the closed stage. We needed a way to tell it is, do we want it to close ticket number 1 or ticket number 2? So what we're going to do here, we're adding this if else conditional step. And then of course, one branch is close ticket number 1. So how are we going to tell it that this is ticket number 1? We're choosing the opportunity name. Okay. You can go back to copy this here. Just so that you see here, we're going to go to contact details, opportunities, and then opportunity name. And does the opportunity contain, and then we're going to give it the data that we want it to search for. So what we're saying here is which ticket needs to be closed, okay? Because we're moving that card here, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. And if we need to close number 1, this step is going to know that it's number 1 because it'll have that data there in the card. Also, another branch, close ticket number 2, same thing. Opportunity name contains ticket number 2. Okay. And then, of course, if it doesn't fall into any of those categories, it just goes into the none branch here. All right. So if it is closed ticket number 1, what we're going to do is add a update contact field here. Okay. And we're going to update each of these fields that pertain to ticket number 1 with 0 and NA. Now I just put NA here. You don't have to put anything here, but the main thing that we want to close out is this. Okay. We need to make sure that that ticket number 1 is back to 0. All right. And then you can put whatever, like I said, you can put whatever you want there, but we're just going to clear out these fields. Now you may want to keep that data, right? You may want to actually use that or reference it in some way. Okay, so let's go back now to opportunities and let's go ahead and say we're done with ticket number 1. So let's go ahead and move the card now. And we've closed this ticket out. Now you can see if we click on the card and we go to support, we still are going to see that data. We're going to see the ticket number, we're going to see the URL, and we're going to see that support issue. That's not going to change. It's always going to be associated with the card. Okay. Now you can also click in here. And if we scroll down to support, you will see that the placeholder fields that we created here are just going to show the last entry, but you'll see ticket number 1 is now back to 0. Support issue number, oops, highlighting everything there. Support issue ticket number 1 is at NA, and then support ticket number video or number 1 video is NA as well. Okay. But you can still see that we see the ticket number 2. Okay. All of that data is still there. The reason that this says that is because of that step that we built there where it updates the data. Okay. Now, if we go back to opportunities again, and let's say that we have closed now Jane Doe ticket out for number 2. Then again, we can click on the card. We can look at the support. We still see all of that data there. And we can, of course, click here. And then you'll see that the data for ticket number 2 has now been cleared out as well. Okay. Now there is another step in here that you could, if you wanted to save the data or keep it on record in another place, like maybe their profile, what you could do is add a note step here. So we could just add notes. And then when you add these notes, you could, of course, use the customer data. Like, let me go to notify. Let's just copy all this because this would be relevant to the customer. So let's say we're going to leave a note step here. Add notes. Let's say that we just want that there and then save. And what this would do is when we add a customer here and we have all of this data that's pulled in, the ticket number and the video and the support issue and all of that, when we add that note step, it's actually going to go into their contacts profile. And you will see that it is in the notes section here. Okay. Now, if I did wanted to run another test through, you would be able to see that it pulls in all of that data there. But even though you definitely can do that, I really think it's better to keep the data on the card that is associated with that. That way you're not filling up your notes section with all of the different support issues. And if you ever did need to come back here and reference that, you could just simply use the search function to search for that ticket number or the customer. And then of course, click into the card and then you'll see that right here. Okay. So you guys remember when you grab this snapshot, first of all, you want to just go into the membership area. I did add it to, let's go into Visionary Resellers. I did add it here into our, the post here, but you can also go with all of the snapshots, go into snapshot section there, and then you'll see the snapshot that you can import into your HighLevel account there. Okay, so you just want to click there to grab that. When you import it, all you need to do is go into the settings. Once it's imported into the sub account that you want it in, you're going to go to custom values. You're going to find the support ticket custom value. You're going to click here, edit custom value. You can add any number here that you want to, and that's going to be the starting number of your support tickets. That's it. That's all you need to do. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you put that, if you go to the sites section, that you either use this page or you use this form and you embed it into a page that you have in your website to submit support tickets. Okay. Super, super easy, super, super useful. I think you guys, this is going to save you so much time and money because this is just built directly into HighLevel. Okay, so I can't wait to see all of you guys and how you're using it. So thank you all so, so much for joining me as always. And you can go to myvisionagency.com. Again, if you want to join our program, you can choose whether you want to join as a client using our HighLevel brand or you want to import our resources into your own HighLevel account. You can join there. Thank you all so, so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. For joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see